for their own records, and also for their as a profession as well. So now these kind of people, what I have mentioned now, they don't have to go through any barriers like any rules, any definitions, any timelines, nothing. They can take whatever they see and whatever they want, right? Unlikely the people who are in competitions, international competitions, they have to follow many rules. If you look at, if you go to one site, you have to read all these rules plus timelines, then selection of categories, especially the definitions, right? So today I'm going to talk about the newly regulated definition about travel photography. So this is very much going to be people who are in competition. Others actually, they can see what kind of photographs we are getting for this international kind of competition. So let's see, start with the photo travel definition given by the Photographic Society of America. A photo travel image expresses the characteristic features or culture of a land as they are found naturally. There are no geographic limitations. Image from events or activities arranged specifically for photography or of subjects directed or hired for photography are not permitted. Close-up pictures of people or objects must include features that provide information about the location. Techniques that add, relocate, replace, or remove any elements of the original image except by cropping are not permitted. The only allowable adjustments are removal of dust or digital noise, restoration of the appearance of the original scene, and complete conversion to the grayscale monochrome. Other derivations, including infrared, are not permitted. All images must look natural. Okay, now in this presentation, I have divided into two parts. One is what we can do, what we can take in travel photography, and what kind of photos it's eligible for competition. The other one is what we can't do, because these days it's very critical with the new regulation. So I will start with my presentation, and first I'm going with what we can do in travel photography, and also that is also I have divided into two parts. One is the cultural photographs which related to travel photography. The other part is like what you can take about the buildings, then landscapes, permanent places, anything what you see. Okay, now before I explain about this photograph, now if you simply look at what is the meaning of travel photographies, simply I can tell you it's a photograph as a travel value, we call it as a travel photograph. Now, for instance, let's say if someone from Germany has seen this photograph and he wants to visit Sri Lanka to famous Cape Temple. Right? But once he comes here, and if he don't see the real arrangement or the colors, so what will happen? He will be definitely frustrated. Yes, lost a lot of.
Hello.
Ramesh, can you hear me?
Can hear you. Yeah, you got to repeat the last sentence, Pandula.
That's okay now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, now, for instance, now, as I said, if someone sees this photograph from Germany or somewhere in Europe or somewhere else, and if he wants to come to Sri Lanka, they may have to spend a lot of money on this one. But even after spending all this money, And if he sees this is not in the arrangement, what he has already seen in the picture, and these are the not colors actually, so he will be frustrated. So that's why the definition says you have to keep it real as possible. No rearrangements, right? Okay, in this photograph, I have taken in famous cave temple. This is a very old one. Actually, this part of it, it's about 300 years old, built by the king from Kandy era. But overall, this is about 2000 years old. And if you come to this place, you don't see these colors here. Because now, for the whole cave, they have only about 6 lights, because they don't put up the lot of lights to light up this thing, because it's going to be harmful to the art on the walls. So they put maximum eyes, so it's about 5 or 6 lights. And also you can carry the cameras, you can take photos, it's okay, but only thing, you cannot have any flashes. So the only gate open is the slow shutter. This photograph is about 30-second slow shutter, but there's a problem for that one as well, because any given time you will see about 50-60 people inside this cave temple. So you have to have your hours and do something with that one. So that's how I took this photograph. These are the real colors if you put up full lights. Okay. Okay, this is another postcard type photo. And you will see the subject, the main building is Watadage in Polonnaruwa. This is a famous building. And also, if you look at the travel definition, according to the definition, you have all the surroundings around buildings, and on the other side, you have some kind of a jungle as well. So this is pretty much identifiable. So this is perfectly okay for a travel photograph. Okay, now, as I said in the definition, there are so many rules you have to follow. Now, since I am talking about competition, those rules not give you awards. If you follow the rules, that means you can, if according to those rules, you can apply your photograph with the competition, but you don't get a award or acceptance for that part. So if you want to get a acceptance, you have to think out of the box. You have to look at different angles. You have to do some experiments. Now, see, this one is purely a postcard shot. Now, this is also from the same building, actually from the inside, right? So that likewise, you have to do some kind of improvements and some kind of different angles when you're taking the photos for competition. Now, this one is a landscape in China, and you will see according to the definition, you will see this main road here, and the buildings, permanent buildings, and mountains there, and also the paddy field. So this is also perfect for a travel competitions. Similar kind of thing, you will see this permanent housing scheme plus the mountains and the lakeside. Everything is perfect for a landscape travel photograph. Okay, this is the other part of the cave actually. This is about 2000 years old, this part. And still you will see only one light here. So that's why it's pitch dark, right? If you go inside, you won't see these colors, right? So again, this is, but the problem is there are a lot of people inside any given time. For that, to avoid that thing, you have to do something on your own. Okay, again, this is a China, very old town here. And again, it's a night shooting. And it's also about 25 or 30-second exposure, I guess. And see the background mountains and other buildings intact. So this is also suitable for a travel photograph. See, I took that shot from this path actually. this path is going to a village, and these monks are going after their work or something to their temple. And even this photograph has all the characteristics like the mountains and the permanent buildings and the track. Everything is in place. So this is also accepted in travel category. Okay, again, cave temple. Now, this one is outside the cave temple, and you will see these monks praying to the Bo tree. This is also kind of a travel shot. Now, see another postcard type photo, and Rankot Vihara, again from Polonnaruwa. You will see the subject, it's very clear, and surround buildings plus the surround constructed other areas, plus the trees and everything. It's very
Hey, Pandula, we can't hear you.
I think we lost his voice.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear.
Let's see.
This connection failed, Ramesh.
His connection failed, is it? Frozen, no?
He's frozen, yeah.
Network issue.
Must be dial-up, no?
Can't be. Dialogue 100% working now.
He has also crept in from somewhere. I didn't notice. I'm waiting for him. There he is. Mr. Dialogue. We might have to.
His screen is seen, but he's not seen. Why? He's frozen. Maybe he has to.
Let's see. Bear with us, people, for a minute.
I think he got disconnected. He's going to join in.
Yeah, he's got disconnected completely.
But I can see him on the list.
Yeah, but all you see there, Ramesh, you don't see a photograph. You don't see him on this thing.
I think his connection is not stable.
Yeah, he's got disconnected, Ramesh.
Why don't you give a call?
Iranti man call kara. Man call kara.
I call.
Rejoining.
Yeah,
Then rejoining.
Yeah, he's coming.
Definitely dialogue තමයි sure.
No, not dialogue.
No,
අමුක මොකක්ද කියලා?
SLT.
මොකක්ද?
ඒකස පොඩ කම්පිටිෂන් සුත් යනවා වගේ.
ආස්ක ඉන්න ඩයලොග් එකම තමයි අල්ලගන්නේ. පව් වැඩේ ඩයලොග් එක.
රවිට තරහා යනවා බලන්න.
පව්නේ
ඔව් ඩයලොග් ගැන දන්නේ නැහැ නේ රවි ඉන්නේ.
ඔව් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම අද කනෙක්ට් ක්වොරන්ටයින් කාලේ කනෙක්ට් කළා ඉතින් ඩයලොග් නිසා නේද?
ඉරිසියාව.
ඉරිසියා ඒක තමයි. පැහැදිලි ඉරිසියා.
Ramesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, very clear.
Yeah. Can't see.
Screen. All right, okay. Great.
Okay. Sorry about this one. Something went wrong with the Wi-Fi. It's heavy rain here.
Some dialogue issue.
Ravi is there, ne?
What is your connection, Pandula? Dialogue or SLT?
Yeah, dialogue.
SLT. පණ්ඩුල මම කෝල් කරලා SLT කියලා කියන්නේ කියලා.
From the house's mouth. Okay. Let's carry on.
Okay, can I start?
Please.
Okay, sorry about it. Now, this picture is again another postcard type picture, and you will see the prominent Rankot Vihara also from Polonnaruwa, and again you will see the surround buildings plus the constructed other areas. and this is also perfect for a travel photography. Now, don't take it wrong. When I'm telling perfect for a travel photography, doesn't mean you will get an acceptance or award, right? I am giving you the go ahead and apply for the competition. That's all. And also, I have another photograph from a different angle. This Rangkot Tehra, I will show you in a few slides. Okay, again, this is, I took this photo from Pidurangala, and this is a landscape kind of thing. You can see all these mountains plus the jungle and this famous rock kingdom, Sigiriya. And why I placed these two monks here is, now when you are doing a, say, a travel landscape, I think it's better to place if you have some kind of a, can you hear me?
Yeah, Pandula, very well, very
Okay.
well. Go ahead.
Okay. Now,
Yes,
why
it is
why I place these two monks there is actually when you are doing a travel landscape, right? It's better to have a human figure out there, because with that we can identify the size of the photograph. You can't do this with the nature landscape, but this is perfect with the travel landscape. Right? That's why I just placed these two monks there, and you will see the size from these two human elements. Okay, again, another building which has an architectural relief here. This is famous Wuhan, China library, and this is one of the biggest libraries in China, and they normally cater 10,000 packs per day, right? And
Hello, Pandula, can you hear me?
Yeah. Who is that?
Hello?
Yeah, Ramesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, Pandula, very well. Marcel is trying to talk, I think. That's the thing.
Yeah, Marshall. Can I talk?
Go ahead, Pandula. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello,
Okay.
Pandula. You're
Yeah.
getting stuck again?
No, that must be Marcel's issue. Anyway, carry on, Pandula, please.
Okay, now, as I said, this architectural photograph, it's also, you can apply with the travel photography. And this is famous Wuhan library in China. And this library is one of the biggest libraries in China as well. And also they cater every day 10,000 people here, not only for reading, actually they have given other activities as well, like to see films and the conferences and so many things happening. I took this picture from inside the library during night, actually, under lights, actually handheld. So this is also a perfect photograph for a travel trade. And this one is also again from China. This is, and you will see this hydropower plant. This is the second biggest in the world. Actually, this is Hubei province. And you will see these mountains and the canal and all those buildings. It's all reflects all the characteristics which are for a travel photograph. And again, this Dagaba you will see wherever you go in Sri Lanka. And again, as I said earlier, so you have to think of out of the box a little bit and get some creative photograph if you want to win awards or acceptances. Okay, this is another famous place, Singapore, and again night shooting around 9:30 in the night. It's a slow shutter, and these are real colors. And this one is also from the same place, but it's a different. So normally when I'm shooting, I'm trying with different angles, because if you try about 10 times, at least you can get a one photograph. So this is also from a different angle, again slow shot about 25-30 seconds. And even this one is also from the same place, the famous light trees, again night shooting with the slow shutter. Now, next one is the cultural aspects of travel photography. Now, when you talk about culture, most of the people think it's only related to festival, right? It's not like that. Festival is one part of it actually. Now, as example, if you take Sri Lanka, Buddhists, we have Christians, we have Muslims, then Hindus, right? So those are different cultures, right? If you take Buddhists, they pray different way. They go to the temple, whereas Muslims goes to the go to the mosque, right? Likewise, even if you take if you compare Matara and Jaffna, so they speak different languages, different lifestyle, different clothes, so many differences. Even the trade wise, there are so many differences. If you take about farming culture, it's totally different from place to place. So those are all.
Hello, Pandula, we can't hear your commentary.
Sorry? Ramesh, are you okay? Hello?
Yeah, Pandula, it's very clear. I think Marcel must be having some
Can hear.
with his end, I think. Marcel?
Iranti, can you hear me?
Yes, can hear Pandura, very clear.
Very clear.
Yeah, I can hear too.
Shall I talk?
Go
Yes,
ahead.
yes.
Ramesh?
Yeah, go ahead, Pandula.
Okay, now this is a kind of culture photograph. Now I took this photograph from Nigambu side. Actually, even in Nigambu you have different cultures of fishing style. Not only this one. Now this one is about that how they get the fish from sea, and they are cleaning the fish to send it for the drying process. So it's a kind of a one kind of a culture. Culture is a very vast area, not only festival. Now, if you see, look at this one. This is a Chinese kind of a village. This is a very old village. And how they start work in the morning. The lady with the baby, she has already started work, and some are idling. So this is every day happening thing. So this is kind of a culture in that particular town. Okay, this is another fishing culture, right? So this is also from Nigambu. If you go there, go to this village, and any given time you will see about 25-30 these kind of boats. They are not going for fish actually, they go for prawns. They start work around 8:30 in the morning and come back before 2 o'clock. It's a separate culture. If you go there around 8 o'clock to say about 12 o'clock, in between that time, you can take these kind of natural shots. You have to just wait and see. That's it. Again, this is another very common Sri Lankans are Buddhist, and there are so many temples around. Normally, this kind of thing is happening the weekdays, because these small monks are going to the school actually, Pirivena. The Pirivena normally starts at 2 o'clock. So before that, before the lunch, before the Daval Dane, they used to learn from the high priest, this kind of special Buddhism things. So this is pretty common in Sri Lanka, but still these are all travel photographs. Again, this one is a bit of a close portrait, but still you have the other characteristics. But see the background, you will see all these lady monks, and the Boo tree is there. Everything perfect for a temple. Temple culture. Again, this is a very rural area, Singharaja, and there you have a very small Arane kind of thing. And I was with them for nearly about three days, and I saw these small monks. Every day in the morning, they are going for Dana, Pindapata. So these very poor people, still they give what they have, right? That is also a different culture, which you don't see these kind of things in Colombo area, right? Very rural areas, you will find these kind of things. Okay. This is again Angampura. This is also our martial arts, very ancient martial arts. And I went to this Kaduela Angampura village. This is how they start their practices, right? So they do some kind of meditation before they start practicing. So these all comes under culture. Not as portrait, but get as with the background and everything which is visible. Okay, this is also the same place. This is the place where they sit and talk during their leisure time. So this is also again a very natural picture. And see, some people are talking, some people are laughing, and some people are doing some other work. Now, if you look at these pictures, these are pretty natural. Let me tell you one example. Last week, I was doing one international judging, right? Actually, I had to judge 3 categories there. 3 themes under main categories, like woman, people, and life. So when I start judging life first, and I read all the rules there. So judge that life theme came under open monochrome. So technically, open monochrome means it's wide open. You can do whatever you want. Even if you want 5 photographs together, you're okay to do that. But the thing is, the theme is life. But that is the main part people don't understand, right? If it says open monochrome, then you are okay to go with the monochrome definition. But when it says under theme, life, and it's going to again monochrome section, you cannot get everything from the definition. So you have to use your brain, because life is life. It has to be natural. You can have but photos, but it has to be 200% perfect. Otherwise, you don't get marked. So my advice is, if you want some kind of a photographs to apply to that kind of a theme, ask from seniors, those who are in competition trade. I know there are so many guys here who are in competition. So you all can get advice from those people. Now, when I start judging, believe me, 25% of photographs from color photograph. So all rejected. Rejected means we can't reject it, but we can give the lowest mark and get it out from the acceptance list. Another 25% of photographs from studio shoots, right? Model shoots and nude shoots and very close-up portrait. So those are not live, right? That is also again rejected. Another portion of photographs, it's low quality, no clarity at all. So that is also rejected. And another portion, not close even to the subject, the theme. So finally, I gave marks only for less than 10%. Now, when I get the final judging round, award-winning round, believe me, out of about 1,200 photographs, I had only 26 photographs to award. So it's a real waste of money. Don't do that. If you are hoping to get into the competition, so get advice, right? Clearly read all the rules in those kind of themes and main categories. If you don't understand, ask from somebody. So you can send a mail to the salon chairman and ask. Otherwise, you are losing money. Okay, this is again a festival in India. So it's not much in this photograph. See the other one. Okay, this is a roadside small hotel in Assam, India again. Now see, this is how they service their clients, making roti and other stuff like that. Now this is real life. This is real life. This is culture, right? They are not models. They are real people. Okay, I will show you how you should process the travel photograph. Now see the left hand side, you will see the raw file actually, and the right hand side you get you get the process file. Now, in that one, I have done only slightly crop and increase the exposure and reduce the shadows. That's all in this photograph. So this is pretty acceptable. Now see this one. So when I sent this photograph to Shamini last week, she called me and asked, Pandula, is this sky is real? I said, yes. Now see, this is the raw file in left-hand side and the processed one is right-hand side. What I did was just crop and increase the exposure and reduce what you call shadows. That's it. So these are normal real photograph. That's why I said if you go there around 8:30, no, say about there will be about 7 o'clock. In between 2 o'clock, you will see this kind of scene. This is not rocket science. Okay, again, come back to culture. Now, see, this is how you get the dry fish actually from, again, Negombo. See, these people are working on these things and you will see all these buildings and other stuff with the sea. So it's all identifiable as a travel photograph. Okay, again, this is from Dambulla. And this is how these small monks going for dana and actually the lunch. And after that, how they come back to the temple. And this is farming culture. You won't see these kind of things in Colombo. But if you go outside Colombo, you can see this kind of things. And also it's seasonal. Okay, this is Kawadi. You all know this from Kataragama. And again, sorry. Again, this is from China and a very old town again and how she's going for work. And also, let me tell you, even the black and white photographs allowed in travel section, but be careful because some competitions, they don't allow black and white photography. They will specially mention on that one. So be careful with those kind of things. Otherwise, these kind of photos will be rejected because of the monochrome. And now see this one. This is again landscape. I just placed this my was guiding me this lady and see all these leading lines. Now say, as I said, apart from all these regulations, I told you all to make it some kind of a creative photograph and a wow factor. So with that wow factor, you will through to the acceptance section, but not to the award-winning section. But now see, if you through to the award-winning section, then what will happen is you will get about 75 to 100 photographs out of say about 1,500, 1,200 photographs. Then all the judges will see apple to apple. They will compare apple to apple. So then it comes the basics. Now see this. What are the basics here? It's center compose, leading lines, and human element is placed in this landscape. There are so many things which I don't want to tell you here. All of you all know that one. Actually, you don't have to by heart those things, right? What you have to do is you have to keep that all the things in your body. Because when it comes to the award-winning round, they compare all those things. If you are good with all these basics, definitely you will get an award. And also, I am not telling you to always keep, always stick to the basic. Sometimes, very rarely, sometimes you have to break the rule. You can break the rules, but only thing you have to convey that message, not verbally, it's visually. Because I have seen in competition, some people have break the basic rules, but right, I don't know what is the reason behind it, and sometimes even the author doesn't. In Sri Lankan lectures, I myself have heard like දැනගෙන කැඩුවට කමන්නේ. එහෙම කතාවක් නෑ. Right? දැනගෙන කඩන්න නම් අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ නෑ. But you can break the rules, right? You can break the rules under certain circumstances, but you have to convey that message to other people who are seeing this photograph, right? This is also a village in China, and they do their day-to-day work. It's naturally this thing. This is a photograph I was talking about, that Rankot fair, right? Right now, this one, I think you all doesn't have seen this from this angle. I'm pretty much sure, because all of you all know the Parakam Samudra. It's very famous. It's very huge also. Parakam Samudra has 3 lakes. What you have in the town area, what you see is the Topa, and the next is Dimbutulu, and the other one is Erabodu. This is from Dimbutulu. This is Dimbutulu, where it's the Sudu Aralia Hotel. It's right behind the Sudu Aralia. You get Dimbutulu, right? These 3 lakes are join each other. Then only it's called Parakama Samudra. So I had to go to the other end of Dimbutulu to capture this photograph. Actually, when I'm capturing, I never thought of getting with this elephant, but from nowhere, this guy came to my frame. So finally, it's became a nice travel picture. So that's why I said you have to think out of the box. Go wherever you can, take pictures. If you take 100 photos, definitely you can select at least 10 photographs. Okay, another place. This is very famous Idalgasina station. Even any given time, if you go there, you will see the rain always and the mist always. It's a really beautiful place to see it. Okay, now let's get on to the other part of the presentation. That is what you can't do in future, right? This is very strict. I think as a presentation also, I got 100% permission from PSA to do this one, because these notes are not being go in public. So even if you go to the website, you can't see this kind of thing. But they have already informed all the judges and the saloon chairmen, plus ESDs, exhibition standard directors, to keep the eye on these kind of photographs. So it is highly this year, 2020, you can apply with these photographs, but you don't get any awards. Maximum is acceptance. Now in 2020, this is very strict, and they are going to have some kind of a black mark on the author as well if you apply for this photograph. At the moment, the judges and the saloon chairmen plus ESDs, and there is a special team appointed by PSA to look into all these kind of photographs. So let's see what are these. Purpose of the photo travel definition. Now, PSA photo travel definition is reality based, like the PSA photojournalism and nature division. The objective of PSA photo travel is to show the world as it is found naturally. The purpose of the PT definition is to guide PT photographers towards making images that show how our world really is, rather than to arrange it and to manipulate images to obtain the best photographs. PT images should be a true record of the scene. The PT definition is also a guide for exhibition judges to ensure that images that violate the definition are not accepted. Okay, let's see what are these photographs. These are not my photographs. 90% are from outside, and this is authorized by the PSA, by Nadia Flaggy. And you all can't see this any of these notes in website yet, right? So let's see what is this one. Images for events or activities arranged specifically for photography or of subjects directed or hired for photography are not permitted. Now, if you look at this number 1 photograph, I have seen with many authors. This is from Indonesia. right? They are paid people, right? They are models, right? This kind of culture is not exist. If you go there even today, there is no such culture. Look at the number 2 photograph. That is the workshop. Every one of these people have the similar photograph. So earlier days, even as at now, people are sending these kind of photographs to travel section. So now it's 100% bad. Now at this stage, 2020, you can get acceptance, but you can't get any award. But still, you have a chance. You can go with open color, open monochrome. Now, see, looking at this one, somebody can argue with me. What about that cave temple photograph? Is it also arranged? Yes, but see, as a Buddhist country, that culture is exist. If you go anywhere, you can see the Buddhist monks are meditating, right? And our culture is still exists. And they are not models. They are not being paid. They are real monks. So that is accepted. Even if you go to Nigambo, right? When you are capturing something and if you can't get that photo correctly, you can ask that person to do it again, right? It's the real culture. You are not paying him. They are not models. It's perfectly okay, right? Let's see the other one. Okay, all these things are arranged photos. Number 1 is from Vietnam. They said it's a fishing culture, but it's arranged, again, model, paid model. Number 2 from Rajasthan. This is also arranged photograph. All these are models and they are being paid. So this is also not accepted in travel photograph. Number 3, the cockfight. So this is also from Vietnam, and I think even Thailand is also there. But see, look at the background. It's all arranged, right? And number 4 is also same. So these photographs, now you can go with color section, but not with travel section. Okay, see this one. I think the number 1 photograph I have seen with more than 1,000 authors. The same photograph, same thing. And even the number 2 photograph. This is from Indonesia. Look at the crowd. These are workshops. There is no such culture exist, right? They are paid model. So this is going to be no longer in travel photography. You can go with open color, open monochrome. Number 3 is also from Vietnam. This is also not a culture. These are all arranged shoots. Right. Number 1, it's from China, Xiapu. This culture was perished, I think, about 200 years ago. Now, if you pay 500 yuan, you can get this model with these 2 birds. So you can go with open color monochrome, but not with travel. Number 2 and number 3 is from Vietnam. That is also arranged with paid models. Okay, now this is our still fishing. Now see number 3 photograph. Now it's completely out because everyone knows this is these are paid models. I had a very lengthy discussion with Nadia Flaggy regarding this one because she says this industry is not exist. That is true. This is not exist. But I argue with her because I have seen sometimes, say up to 3 people, one person, 2 person, or 3 people, sometimes in the mornings and evening, they go and fish for the domestic purposes, right? It's true, right? So she agreed actually. She agreed up to 3 people, she allowed these things, but not more than 3, right? So number 1 is the raw file you can see, and after process 1 is the number 2. That is actually the same thing. I have increased the exposure and reduced the shadows. That's all. Okay, let's see what it is. Air shows which have no identifiable features, landmark, building, do not adhere to the photo travel definition. This image would score low in PT section of an international exhibit. It's pretty much true because there is no any identifiable feature in this photograph except the sky and the planes. You can't identify this from China or England or America. So obviously you don't get any marks for this kind of photograph. I think this is perfect for a photojournalism. Let's see the second one. Images of people traveling does not necessarily mean that those images would be appropriate for travel unless there is a sense of place or recognizable scene in the image. The below image does not adhere to the PT definition and would score low. Now, I can think that are we getting these types of photos also for the international company? Yes, we are getting more worse pictures than this, right? Now, see this one, it's only this man is sitting on a chair and there's a lady there. I can't identify is this a bus or a train, and there is no any other identifiable feature as well. So this is also not going to be scored in PT section. Okay, let's see about underwater. These kind of photos also we are getting for the travel competitions. Now, underwater shots that show some particular species, coral or plant life would be considered for an acceptance if those animals, plant life are very specific to an area. But generally, underwater shots are not suitable for PT, right? Especially if there is no distinctive and specific species to identify the area. Example, images of green sea turtles, loggerhead turtles without any identifiable feature around them, specific local plant life, specific local coral, identifiable shipwreck would not fit the PT definition because their migration patterns are far-reaching. Both of these images do not adhere to the photo travel definition and would score low. So that means hereafter there will be no underwater photographs in travel section. But look at these two photographs. This author is a very good underwater photographer. He's very talented. He normally don't send any photographs to travel section. These photographs he has sent on our request for this presentation actually, and also for the upcoming journal. Right now, these kind of photographs will never come in travel section, and even if they comes in travel section, there will be no marks for those kind of photographs. Okay, let's see this one. A photo travel image express the characteristic features of color as they own naturally. There are no geographic limitations. Look at the number one photograph. It's a kind of a portrait, but you will see the background building and plus some kind of a culture. So this is acceptable. As I said earlier also, when I say acceptable means not an acceptance or award, right? Just you can apply for the travel section. Number 2 and 3, again, you can't see anything other than sea and the sky, so which is not acceptable. And number 4 is same like number 1. You see the background, buildings and the road, everything. It's perfect for a travel photograph. Number 5, again, not accepted. Okay, let's see this one. Clean up, close-up pictures of people or objects must include features that provide information about the location. Now see the number 1 photograph. It's kind of a festival, I guess. And you will see the behind also the people there with the similar kind of dress, and also some visible buildings there. So you can take it as a travel photograph. Number 2 and 3 is not accepted. It is because it's too close and nothing behind back. And number 3 photographs, I'm pretty much sure it's a natural photograph from Thailand, but this is also not accepted, mainly because these kind of photographs we can create inside a studio also. That's why we are not giving any marks to this kind of photograph. So let's see the number 4 photograph. It's a perfect one. You will see some kind of a selling kind of thing, and with different costumes. And this is perfectly okay. When it comes to number 5, the author has taken out the some kind of a basket or something is there. So it's not going to be accepted. Okay, the only allowable adjustments are removal of dust or digital noise, restoration of the appearance of the original scene, and complete conversion to grayscale monochrome. The derivations, including infrared, are not permitted. All images must look natural. So number one photograph is the natural photograph. It's always okay to do with the travel one. And the number two is the complete conversion of black and white photograph of the original one. So these two photographs are accepted in travel competitions. Right. Oversaturated, oversharpened, and other images with unnatural artifacts such as halos, strong vignetting should be given lower scores in judging. Extreme fisheye images that are distorted do not appear natural. Partial distortion of areas of the image does not look natural and is not allowed. Now see number one picture. And from the original picture, the author has taken out 90% of the colors. Just keeping only the two people is colored and the balance is black and white. So this will go as an open color photograph, right? Not in open monochrome or not in travel section. Number two is oversaturated and also over sharpened. This is also not allowed. It's kind of altered reality. That's why it's not allowed in PT section. Okay, let's see the fisheye images. Now, this is also not accepted in travel photography. Actually, I made this photograph using Photoshop. Now, why they are not accepting these photographs is this distorted thing is seen only by the lens, not by a person for a naked eye. So that's why they don't allow in travel PT section. But you can go with what you call open color, open monochrome. But let me tell you as a judge, normally we don't give marks to this kind of distorted images, right? Number two is the same place taken from a normal lens. So it's accepted. Okay, that's it from my end. I hope that you all have learned something out of my presentation. But if you still have any questions, you can ask now.
Okay, thanks, Pandula. Everybody, you can unmute your mics as well as your video. And I'm sure you have some questions to Pandula.
Can I start?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so in your one of the monochrome images that you had of the Ankampodi, the hut with the people.
Yeah.
Can you go back to that image, or is it possible?
I have to share again.
I think, yeah, he went out of that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also noticed that, Pandula, because that hut that you have made is a camouflage hut. It's just a false front.
Yeah, that was my question too, Master.
Yeah, that's like the old cowboy films, the false front. But if you look from the front, you can't see that. But when you look from the side, you can see there's nothing behind. It's just a brick concrete.
It's just a set.
Yeah,
just a set.
It's kind of a rest hut. There is no backside. It's all open.
Yes. So
Yeah,
is that kind of photograph accepted?
Yeah, that's okay. This one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is
nothing,
natural.
nothing behind that wall.
No, but these just makeshift wall, no? Just for the what do you call it? For the models to be there.
For effect, is it?
No. These are not models. This is a separate village has made for practices. So this is natural.
But this, I feel this hut is made for photography. There's nothing behind. No, it's not a natural hut. No.
No, nobody is going there for photography. This is not for photography. This is a complete village. If you go there even today, you have to stay. This is where they are rest, actually.
Interesting resting place.
Yeah, maybe because of the low budget. Poor people, that's why.
Even that they don't encourage photography here. You can
You have to ask from the the Gurutuma. So I don't think he will give always, but certain conditions. They will give.
Hello, I'm.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Jalat. Was it
Yeah.
Jalat?
Yes. Hello, I'm new to this group, and I joined your group to learn photography. Though I do photography as a part of teaching. Can you kindly tell me the difference between travel photography and street photography, if it permits within this subject?
Yeah. So travel photography now, say if you are familiar with PSA, right? They have 5 main categories. That is then wildlife for nature, then street. Under street, right? Under street, you have subcategories. You can have.
Extremely sorry to interrupt. Is there any problem? I cannot hear. Is it my connection?
Bandula, just repeat that categories. I think we all lost you there.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, very well. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Now it's quite clear. Yes.
If you are familiar with PSA, they have 5 main categories.
Yeah.
2 open categories, namely open color, open monochrome, then travel photography, then photojournalism plus wildlife or nature, right? Under travel category, you can have people, you can have women, you can have cityscape, you can have street. There are so many things. The street will come under travel photography. Sometimes street will go as photojournalism as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
So just a quick question, follow up. So there is no category as photojournalism. Is that what you said?
No. It's a main category.
Okay.
So there are 5 main categories. One is open color, open monochrome, photo travel, photojournalism, plus.
Okay, sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
You got it?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Hey, can I ask something?
Yeah, tell me.
Sometimes it's really difficult to find if these are models or not. How we can, let's say, we can see clearly if we are judges, let's say, because it's really difficult to see sometimes.
Yeah, there is a problem with that one. But now in competition, we are getting workshop programs. That kind of thing we want to prevent coming in. Actually, now say if you are going with a model for a existing culture, nobody can't say no, right? If there is a photograph that you are going to create a culture, that is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot identify now. For instance, say I showed you that Dambulla cave temple with monks. Now, if I get models, you can't say they are real monks or models. So it's a problem. But still, if the culture exists, it's okay.
I see.
Right?
Yes. Thank you.
So you can do a role play without getting caught.
You can't stop that, Ramesh.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
You can't identify. But now, if you look at a teledrama, you have all these monks, right? They are very perfect.
Yeah, I know. So I think it will be the peer pressure that will bring you down someday, isn't it? As we saw some of these photographs which were exposed later to be basically set up photographs, like what you showed.
Yeah.
Where people will come in and say, these are all done up, set up, and these are all people acting, and so on.
Yeah.
Andula, just clarification now, your Dambulla cave photograph.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely natural photograph. It's a natural photograph with natural bhikkhus. But then in the when you see that, it be totally dark, slightly light. So now you increase your ISO
Yeah, not
That's
actually ISO. It's not ISO. It's slow shutter.
you didn't increase the ISO at all.
No. I normally don't increase the ISO because the clarity is going down. That
But
photograph, it's
but
about
it's
30-second exposure.
oh, I see. Because it's pretty dark inside.
Yeah, it's
Well,
pretty.
I don't.
That's why I said. So they don't put
And
up light.
how do you manage to keep the people away from you? Camera lens for 30 seconds, a long time.
Bit of a question. Actually, I have a bit of a strong connection with the high priest.
Ah.
I close the doors.
Oh, I see.
5 minutes.
Right.
And take whatever I want. So all these.
Well, if you keep a long exposure, all the moving elements will disappear, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah, moving elements will disappear. But when it comes to Ramesh, there are about 60-50 people. But still,
Somebody
people,
will stand still, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm closing the doors for just 2 minutes. I'm taking the photograph.
Andula, I didn't understand the explanation you gave on that live. How you spoke about monochrome, and then you said, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, and then you said if life is a subset of monochrome, now if it's a monochrome picture, you can add, you can
hear me?
Yeah, if it's a monochrome picture, you can put 25 pictures together and make one, right? If it's open monochrome.
Yes.
Then if it's if life is a subset of monochrome,
yes.
then are you saying you can't do that or you can do that?
Technically you can. But if you look at life is not artificial.
Yeah.
Those comes under monochrome. Doesn't matter. Actually, originally it has to comes under either travel or journalism.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. For some reason, it has comes under monochrome. Technically, you can do anything what you want. But
so if
tell me.
Yeah, no, you go on. Sorry.
But technically, you can do anything. But life is natural.
Yeah.
When we are judged, we are
so if there is a So if there is a theme to a competition, say there is a theme saying life, then obviously it has to be as is, right? You can't have any additions or subtractions or anything like that, isn't it?
Open monochrome or open color. Technically, you can.
It is if it comes as a subsector, you can do, but it's very confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's confusing, but that's why I said you have to consult somebody who is experienced, right? If it comes under travel photography, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You have to keep it
natural. If it comes as a separate theme, also you can't do anything.
Separate?
As a separate theme, then also you can't do anything.
No. If it is a theme, say live, always within bracket, they will give the main category. Is it under monochrome or photo travel division or journalism? You have to read that carefully. If it is under travel photography, you can't do anything. If it is under open category, technically you can do. Technically you can. You can but 2 or 3 photographs together. But it has to be 200% natural. Otherwise, judges won't give marks. Because the theme is life. Life is always has to be natural. Now, if you read it very carefully, FIAP definition, what you call traditional photograph definition, they include open as well, which don't have in PSA definition. The FIAP definition, they include open, then journalism, nature, travel, themes, so on and so forth. So open means not the open category, full open category, like these sub-themes. You get my point? It's a bit of confusing. When you have to consult me.
Better not. Then the other one is, I don't know whether you'll be able to answer this now. When you do landscapes, in the same, there is no adding or subtracting or anything like that. In the same place, in the same position, you keep the tripod and you take 2 exposures. You take one for the sky and one for the foreground, so that
You
you
can't do
get
that.
better. You can't. It has to be one photograph. Although there is no, it's just two photographs to manage the dynamism.
I
Still, you
think
can't.
it's under debating at the moment. So another few
Because you can't identify. How can you identify
No,
the
no.
foreground?
No.
Foreground you
No, Marcel.
expose once.
Yeah.
Background
And
you
same
midground you expose once. Then the background you expose one. 3 photographs you bring it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pandula,
But then
if you
how
if
can a
you-
judge find out that? You judge can't find
No,
out that.
but if they ask you for the raw file, they can.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Pandula,
Yeah,
can't you
correct.
do in camera HDR for such a
No,
situation?
that's why I'm coming. Now at the moment it's okay. HDR is okay. Now Iranti also telling stitching kind of thing. Neither.
Oh, Mama, pintu and then you
Stitching.
put it together in Photoshop by
Not
putting
stitching, you overlay and merge.
overlay. Yes, yeah. You put
Layer.
yes.
All the 3 layers you bring it together one layer.
Or you
I
can do it in
put,
camera actually.
Yeah, at the moment
Yeah.
it's okay. But they are negotiating with FIAP because FIAP doesn't allow HDR or stitching.
Right.
So they, Nadia actually instruct me not to give this explanation, right? So it's at the moment PSA is okay with HDR plus the stitching thing, but I think they have to come to a certain arrangement with FIAP.
Right.
So what you're saying now is FIAP doesn't allow, PSA allows.
Yes,
Stitching
you just do an
and HDR.
definition with you.
No, but
I think FIAP definition.
FIAP definition for wildlife says HDR is possible.
Yeah, HDR is possible because I pointed that out and read it out at the meeting also.
Grante, in FIAP, that is totally unaccepted.
No. In the wildlife definition,
No, in the- yes,
Pandula in the FIAP, it says HDR, a photograph with HDR is acceptable.
Acceptable.
Maybe in wildlife. No, I am talking about the traditional photos, which includes open, then travel, photojournalism, portfolios, and themes. Those are allowed. I don't know about nature thing. But,
Yeah, so landscapes is nature, no, Pandula?
Sorry?
Landscapes will come under nature, no?
No, there are 2 types. You have nature landscapes, you have
And
travel
travel landscape.
Travel.
Yeah.
Those are 2 different things. In nature landscapes, you can't have any human made elements there.
Yeah, correct.
Right? The travel landscapes, you can have anything. So that part
Yes,
is
another.
bit debatable.
Yeah, Pandula, just
Yeah, can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Ravi. Jalat, go ahead. Yeah, please.
Yeah, can I ask another question? Actually, I started photography not as a professional photographer. I'm a teacher in a university. I take photographs of traffic and traffic accidents. So very often I don't have time to set the camera and I take in auto mode. Just in case if my photographs match for any of these conditions, will I be entitled to submit for any competition or anything? Very often it's auto mode. Because you can't think and take. You have to keep the camera in accident or driver misbehavior, pedestrian misbehavior, that kind of things.
Try and think.
Okay, it goes under photojournalism.
Okay. I don't know whether you have seen my photographs almost 1 year. Lagbima carried my photographs under title called Netano Gatunu Magaturuturu. So I do research on traffic accidents and traffic congestion in Sri Lanka.
Basically, that is goes under photojournalism. In that section, actually, we are looking at the news value of this photograph, not much about the clarity. So you can go with auto mode.
Not much the technical details, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just a newsy effect. Yeah, I think he's very interesting. Jalat, we'd like to see your photographs somewhere down the line. Maybe you can do a presentation for us.
We
Something
can have
new.
Yeah, why not? I love to do it more than photos. Actually, I like to use photos as a tool of teaching. And I'm working on traffic accidents. You may know we lose 8 lives per day because of traffic accidents. We lose 200 million rupees per day because of traffic congestion.
Yes, after 70 hours.
Allowed to share my experience together with my nearly 1 million photographs around the world.
Yeah. After 60 years of free education, no, 8 people die on the road still.
Yeah, 8 to 9.
Yeah. So yeah, that's lovely. Thanks, thanks, Jalat. So getting just one point which I couldn't find, couldn't understand in what Pandula said about HDR, about the fact that in landscapes you do HDR mainly to sort of balance out the light, the dynamic range, get everything into sort of acceptable composition. Now, if PSA or FIAP doesn't allow HDR, in-camera HDR or even post HDR, now what about using a grad filter? Again, you're manipulating, right? If a landscaper uses a grad filter and takes a shot, so technically he's also manipulating the light, isn't it? To his advantage.
It's manipulation, but it's not altered the reality, no? But in HDR, you're altering the reality. It's a totally different.
You are not really. You're just getting.
Yeah, it's kind of over-sharpening.
You're not altering the reality.
No, getting the foreground, the midground, and the background in perfect focus.
Because of the physical,
taking 3 photographs.
The physical limitations of the camera to capture the dynamic range of a scene, unlike your eye, you're using 3 or 5 different images with different levels of light, and you're basically merging it either on camera.
You're only bringing the dynamic range in. You're not altering anything else.
Yeah. So actually,
detail
FIAP is not allowed those things. Now, there's a person appointed for this particular matter from PSA. So he's negotiating with FIAP. What to do finally. I think they have to adhere with the FIAP thing.
Okay.
Ramesh, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Sorry, Ramesh, I can't switch on my camera. Is it okay to ask?
That's okay. We don't want to see you, Praveen. It's okay.
Hi, Pandula. Just a quick question. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. Very well. Go ahead. Pradeep, go ahead.
Hello. Oh, okay. So now I didn't get any response from him, so I thought but I'm sure whether you can hear me. Yeah, so Pandula, this is my question. So you said that, on the competition that you're not allowed to do HDR, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is in basically on all landscape photographers, what they do is, so HDR is, a technique that mostly people use it if someone does not have a filter. Let's say if I don't have like an ND filter, if I don't have like a graduated filter. So people use it as a HDR as a technique to take a landscape pictures, like, 3 stops, 2 stops, 1 stop, and then 0, like 4 exposures, and they combine together, right? So, which is, for some people who does not want to, spend more time on, on post-processing, which they will use a filter, but someone who can't afford to buy a filter, or someone who does not want to buy a filter or something, they go with HDR. So how does that work though? Because it's a very technical, it's, in a landscape, like, you have to do with HDR.
Are you talking in competitions?
Yeah, in the competitions, yeah.
Now see, at the moment, the FIAP definition clearly says they don't allow HDR or any other things done inside the camera, right? At the moment, PSA says they allow, right?
Okay.
Now, there is a problem between those two definitions. Now, this PSA, they have appointed one person to negotiate with FIAP and come to a certain arrangement for that one. So now I can tell you only thing is, PSA is allowing those things, but FIAP is not allowing those things. And also, I had a chat with during my last presentation in Turkey. I had a chat with Ricardo Bussi and also the patronage director at FIAP. So they also said they also have certain problems with this kind of limitation, and also most of the people not following those rules. So they also have that kind of problem. But I think the PSA has taken that issue very seriously now. So that's why they are coming with all these regulations. So let's see. Within a month's time, I think I can give you an answer. Actually, next month they are publishing the journal, so they have to come to some sort of a conclusion regarding this HDR and other things.
So as Ramesh said before, so So are we allowed to use a filter, like a grad filter or something like that? And can we take a pictures and can we submit to them?
Yes, technically can. But now see, they said they are not allowing only HDR and stitching, but they have not mentioned any of these ND filters or anything. So you can use that.
Yeah, because there are two different purposes. I mean, grad filters and all, just to cut down your highlights, and that's the whole purpose. And HDR is dynamic range.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Pradeep, it won't be recorded in the metadata, so you will really not know, isn't it? So.
Okay, and there's one other question. The other thing is, so when you go on travel photography, like when you go down into villages or into cities and all, so are you do zone focusing, or you just rely totally on autofocus system? How do you take quick pictures? How do you do that?
Manually. I'm used to it manually.
So that means you do zone focusing system.
Sorry?
Is that so? You do zone focusing system. Is that what you do?
Yeah, it's manual focusing.
Oh, okay, so that means you look at the scale that is on the lens, and then you go with that. Okay.
Yes.
Right. And thank you so much for.
Pradeep, you're referring to zones as in Ansel Adams or what? Like for the
Oh
landscape?
yes. That zone system. Yeah, because that is what most of the street photographers use it, because it's easy for you to do it. Rather than you're wasting your time on focusing and all of that. It's easy. That's why I asked him.
Actually, if you're talking about Ansel Adams, he came up with a different type of zone system. But I saw one YouTube. He's from Adorama TV. He's introducing again zone system like
Sunny 16 rule.
Sorry.
So is it Sunny 16 rule?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, Sunny 16 rule.
Photoshop some layers. So that is also pretty much okay. It's about black layer, the white layer, then mid layer, and shadows likewise.
Yeah, that's the Sunny 16 rule.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Pradeep, I think we need to understand the difference between film era and digital sensor era, and the zones that how Ansel uncle operated and we operate might be a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Manda.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any more questions? This is gone on very interestingly, and Pandula must be tired also answering all this.
It's okay, ask me anything.
Again, if you can talk.
Sorry.
Sada, yes. Okay. It's maybe I didn't understand. I didn't hear very clearly, but the culture goes directly to photo travel, or it is a branch of it, a kind of.
No. It's mainly under photo travel.
Photo travel.
Yeah. There are two different sections. One is Gusa's culture. All these. Right, and on the other hand, you can photograph buildings, then landscapes, and different towns. So many things the other way. So it's two different parts actually from the same category.
Yeah, it's another thing to say. It's not a question really, but we all get astonished about these Asian pictures because of your love nature and people. But they are very impressive things we don't have in Europe or in Greece. Okay, we have some islands, but it's very difficult to find very interesting pictures. We don't have so many.
So that's why
that's a complaint. We are getting jealous, for these astonishing pictures. We love.
Opening a airport on 1st of August.
No, normally, Ramesh, that's why normally when I select my competitions, if I say this is from your club, so I have different set of pictures to your club. And if it is from German, it's different set of photos. So it's all depends about from the country to country. But there's a problem at the moment because of online judging. Now say the competition is originally from German, but one judge is from Singapore, other one is from America, the other one is from Sri Lanka. So then there will be a dispute between those judges. That's why I say, whatever the photograph, it's okay. You have to create the wow factor. Whether the Asian face or a European face, doesn't matter, because judges are from all over the world. So
yes, no, it's not this thing. It's that we don't have very impressive scenes in Europe as in Asian countries or Africa, or this is at least what I think. Maybe I'm get used to our faces and nature, and we don't have. We have some trees, okay, and the sea, and up to here. We have to travel. I mean, we have to go outside our country.
Actually, our people think other way around. You all have the better scenery. Yeah. So,
you see the grass is always green on the other side of the river.
And the snowy mountains, and even that special ducks kind of thing. Most of our wildlife photographers come into Greece.
Yep.
Yeah, and almost 6,000 years of history. Looking down upon you, and what are you complaining about?
Yes. I mean, for today.
And
anyway.
It's a human nature, human condition.
Blue and white. I mean, you don't see that anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I used to photo, to send the competition, blue and white. Okay.
No, actually, I think she's talking about the Indian type portraits, right?
No, not portraits. I love nature. It's difficult to find something very strange, very impressive here.
You come to Sri Lanka?
Yes, I have to. My next trip. I hope so.
Okay.
That was very nice. Was really nice, and thank you very much.
Last question from me. Do you always use your mirrorless camera for your travel photographs?
Yeah.
Always a mirrorless.
Yeah. I have only mirrorless.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's all.
I have seen you using the mirrorless cameras.
Yeah. I started with Sony. I don't have any other camera.
I see.
I'm using it Sony. That's all.
You have the whole range of lenses, isn't it?
Actually, Ramesh, normally for most of the shoots, I use not the G Master camera lenses mostly. So they are very, very clear in pictures. I think you also have some good lenses with Nikon.
Right.
So I'm not taking any other normal G lenses. Normally I go with G Masters.
Right.
And for landscape photography, what is the lens that you use? A wide angle, semi-wide angle lens from 6 to 35.
Yeah, 1635. It's also a G Master. Again, I have 1224 also, but it's more like fisheye.
Okay. 1225 is more like fisheye. So
Yeah,
16,
sometimes it gets distorted.
Okay.
But 1635 is perfectly okay. And I also have the, what you call the Loa. It's a total manual lens. And 15 millimeter. That is also very good. Yeah. That is the only lens, wide angle macro lens in the world. It's not much. It's about $500. $500. It's a Chinese lens. It's very famous.
But that's for macro photography.
Yeah, macro photography and also for landscape.
Oh, landscape also.
Yeah, it's a prime lens.
How do you find the optical quality of these lenses? I've heard about that, but never used one.
Which one?
Lioa lenses?
15:1. So, what is the purpose you are going to use? Is it for macro or?
No, just landscape.
Landscape is good. Macro, there is a problem because if you are going to take 1:1, the ant will come onto the lens. It's very difficult to focus.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we are running into 1.5 hours and interesting. Are there any further questions so that we can wrap the session up? Well, if anybody doesn't have any questions, I just want to ask you one question, Pandula, before we wrap up. Before the corona started, let's say up to February, going back 12 months, how many trips or how many shoots did you do roughly for the 12 months preceding the corona? I mean, very roughly.
Normally, like every week, I go somewhere. Even during the corona, I captured so many macros. I have about 100 different photos.
You couldn't capture the coronavirus by any chance? I was just joking. No, the point I'm trying to make is it's a lesson for everybody. As I said at the start, being a good photographer is a couple of things. Three main elements are the art and the craft, of course, and then the third vital element is having interest, commitment, that is practice. I think you're somebody who embodies all three, and we see what comes out of you is a result of that. So I think each one of us, we sometimes have a lot of enthusiasm, but we don't practice. Sometimes we are lazy. Some people do a lot of practice, but probably they don't learn the craft or the art, and so on. So little deficiencies here and there. So there are things that we can learn as much as we watch your photography and what you have to say from what you're doing. So thank you very much once again to taking your time and making this presentation and sharing your views. And on behalf of the society, Shamini had to go away because of a personal urgency. On behalf of her also, thank you. And thank you everybody for taking part. And we will now close this meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Bandula. Thank you.
Thank you, Bandula.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. It was great.
Very much. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ada.